We are live.
Are we good?
We're good.
Hi, I'm Ellen. Welcome to Tuesday Tips at 2. And I just have a quick little tip today for you about a product that I really like. We sell it here at the store, a couple of different brands, and I've found all kinds of wonderful uses for it. It is tearaway tape. This one is made by OESD. We also have one made by Kimberbell. And there's tearaway variety, and there's also a washaway variety, and I want to show you some really good uses for this. The main reason why this tape was invented, I think, is for embroiderers, but don't go away. If you're not an embroiderer, if you're a regular sewer, or if you're a quilter, I've got some tips for you too. So, what we normally use this tape for is to hold things on when we're embroidering. So if I were going to embroider a little piece of fabric here and I needed to hold it in place and it was too small to hoop in my big hoop, I would just put a little bit of tape there. I think most of us know that that's the main reason we use this tape. But I want to show you another great way to use it in your embroidery. So here's a little leaf I embroidered, just a little sample. And I use tearaway stabilizer, and when you're done with your embroidery, as you know, you want to loosen your hoop. And then, of course, you're going to be tearing away. I'll show you the back. You're going to be tearing your stabilizer away from your pattern. And you're left with your embroidery pattern and a whole lot of wasted stabilizer. And I just did a little math. The stabilizer is about 80 cents a foot. And unfortunately, there's not enough room on either side of this to do anything with. So here's my little tip. Over here, I have a straight edge and a straight edge because I did use a roll of let's see, this is the 15-inch wide stabilizer. So I had a 15-inch piece here. I am going to just tear very carefully right down the center of my stabilizer. And now, if I can make myself some room here, I am going to lay those two straight pieces right next to each other. I'm going to take some of my tearaway tape, which, by the way, is about 8 cents an inch, not 80 cents an inch, 8 cents an inch. I'm sorry, 8 cents a foot, 8 cents a foot. So this is about 80 cents a foot. This is about 8 cents a foot. And I am just going to tape those two edges together. And I basically made myself a whole new sheet of stabilizer that is big enough to go in that hoop again. I can hoop 2 times from the same cut of stabilizer, and instead of throwing away about 50 cents worth of stabilizer that's unusable, I just invest another 8 cents using this tape, and I can now reuse the stabilizer. It's like I have a whole nother piece. So great way to be economical. I know I hate throwing away these big sheets of stabilizer that are just almost enough, and all they could maybe go into is the smallest hoop, and I don't use that hoop very often. So that's one of my first little tips. All right, if you are not an embroiderer, but you just like to do regular sewing, I want you to think of all the ways that you need to baste things when you pin baste. For instance, how about when you have to sew on a zipper, and you've got to hold that zipper in place, and you know when you use pins to hold a zipper on, you're just going to get big lumps, and you're going to have to sew across those pins and pull them out. Why not just use a piece of tape? You can tape it across in a few places, you can tape it down, you can sew straight through it and then just rip it right out as soon as you're finished sewing. Same thing if you have a little tiny piece of trim. It's very hard to pin that, and if you pin it, it's going to have a lot of lumps in it as you go. why not just put some pieces of tape down? You can sew straight through it, pull that tape up, and you've got a perfectly placed piece of trim. So I'm sure sewists could think of a lot of other great ideas for this, but now I want to show you a great idea for quilters. When you are doing blocks like these that have corners to them, you always want to make sure that your corner finishes, and I should have gotten myself a ruler. Do we have a ruler with a 1/4 inch cutting ruler here? That's what I forgot to get today. Let me go get you one. Yes, Marcia will get it for you. You want to make sure when you're sewing these blocks that you always have a 1/4 inch seam allowance past your little point. And Marcia's going to bring me a ruler, so I forgot to get it, and show you how you line that up and be sure that you have that. The reason is that you're going to have to be sewing something on that. Thank you very much. So I line this up and I make sure, and there's my pink line there, and I've got to make sure that I've still got a 1/4 inch before I trim this off and square it up. Because the next step, as you know, I may have to put something else on here, and I'm going to have to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and when I open that up, I want to make sure I've got the full point there. Well, I don't know about you, but I admit that I have days where I may have to make 50 of these for a project. I've got some flying geese here. And lo and behold, there's a few that when I go to square them up, they don't look like this. They don't have a nice 1/4 inch. They look more like this. And I don't know if you can see against that black background, but there is not a 1/4 inch there. And that's going to be a problem, because when you go to sew the next piece on, let's say I'm sewing this one onto it, and I turn that over, if I sew that 1/4 inch seam, I am going to end up taking the corner, the point, off my flying geese. That's very frustrating. So as I'm squaring up, I think, oh, I'm going to have to make a skinny little seam on this one. How am I going to remember to do that when it's time to sew this one in? Well, in comes tearaway tape. So what I will do on this one is I'm going to take myself a length of tape. I'm going to put it right on the edge there so it just sticks to the edge of my fabric. I'm going to turn it over and fold it back over on itself so that it's protruding a little bit, and you can probably see where I'm going with this now. Now I'm going to take my ruler, and when I go to square this up, I'm going to lay that point right on my 1/4 inch. And I'm now going to be cutting away right here on the tape. I didn't have enough fabric over there, but I'm just going to cut away on the tape right there. Now, when I go to add the next piece, so I'll show that over here.
The white will show up against the black.
There we go. So there's that piece of tape. I didn't really cut it, but you will. You're going to lay your ruler on there, trim that off a 1/4 inch. You're just pretending like this is a length of a part of your fabric.
You want to hold the ruler up there?
Yes.
Thank you.
So I'm going to be trimming away right here along the edge of the ruler, and I'll end up with a 1/4 inch away from that seam. So when I put my next piece on, I'll line it up with my edge that I cut and do my sewing. And when you do, you're going to end up with a nice result like this. I'll show you. So here I lined that up. Here's the part I did with, I've got some tape on there. But now when I open this up, I'm going to end up, and you can see some of your tape, but you don't care because tearaway tape tears away. So you're going to be able to come in, and you do have to take a minute to do it because it's so tiny. So you're going to be able to come in and tear this tape off, or wash it away if you use the wash away. That tape's going to tear right out there for you, and I ended up with a perfect corner there. Now, I know that I only have a tiny little seam allowance back here. So when I pull my tape away, I just have the tiniest little, but it was enough to catch, enough to hold it down, and I'm going to have a beautiful point when I open it up. So once you get that all quilted in, that tiny little seam allowance won't matter. So you know then that all your pieces are completely squared up. when you go to sew them in. So that's my tips for tape. Tear away, and of course if you're using a wash away stabilizer, you want to use wash away, and that way it'll disappear. If you're using a cutaway stabilizer, you could use either one. They could both just stay in your project. It won't matter a bit. You're going to be tearing your stabilizer away anyway. So that's my tip for today.
Ooh, good
Marsha.
tips. Good tips. Okay. All right. She did a great job, didn't she? So here's the deal. Remember last week we did a giveaway. Well, guess what? We're going to do a giveaway again. So just to let you know, if you did not pop in and say, hey, this is Sandy from Saskatchewan or something like that, please pop on and tell Sharon your name and where you're from, because she is actually feverishly writing over there. You guys can't see her, but anyway, she's feverishly writing so that you will be entered in our drawing. So today we are giving away 3 little fat quarter bundles. There are four fats in each bundle, and they're kind of fallish, Thanksgiving-ish. Is that a word? Thanksgiving-ish? Anyway.
It is now.
Absolutely. Themed fabric. Not, okay, so don't think that there's turkeys on there, because that's not what I mean. We're just talking colors. But while Sharon is feverishly writing, because I know you guys want to, win a little fabric bundle, what I'm going to do today is, I know that you guys often wonder, well, how in the world does she get to order fabric and how is it all done? So today I have, and I want y'all to know, Angie did not know she was going to be doing this. So I'm just going to tell y'all, here we go. So I want y'all to meet Angie. This is Angie. And Angie is my Northcott, my Island Batik girl, my checker rep. What else, honey?
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, Henry Glass. She does a lot of different reps for numerous companies. So today, what she's got showing here is this. I'm going to show you this one because I really think I'm fixing to order some of this. Okay, so Angie, tell us kind of what you do and how you do it.
So sometimes when I'm showing, it's just on paper, like this one is. So I would show this to Marsha, like I just did, and said, look at this.
It's so cute.
And then I say, it's flannel. And Marsha says,
Ah.
I can make jammy pants out of that for Christmas time.
Yay! Okay, so the name of this one is Warmin' Up Winter. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I think this is adorable because I can see pajama pants out of this. I can see a really delicious flannel quilt out of this. Super fun. Look at this little friend that goes with. Then of course you've got the just the heads of the animals on this one. So this is called a toss. Is that
Right.
not correct? So you've got your main fabrics. So this is actually a panel. And so all of this comes on that panel. And the nice thing is they show us what the size is going to be of the panel. So we know that this is selvage to selvage this way. And that when we were to cut this, it would be a 24-inch panel. So they always give us that measurement so that we know, okay, approximately how big it's going to be. So this is what it looks like on paper. So do y'all like this one? Because if you like it, I need a thumbs up because this isn't coming until July. Okay, July. I'm not getting it for December. It won't be here till 2021. But if you like this one, because I'm really kind of liking this one may show up in the store next July. So we want to I wanted to show you things on paper. So there it is. So Warmin' Up Winter, it's by the Northcott Company.
Eileen wants it.
Eileen wants it. Okay, Eileen.
There
So,
you go. Yay.
Angie, show us the other way that you get that we get fabrics from you.
So then sometimes I get them on fabric. This is Forest Fable from Northcott, Figo actually, which is a department of Northcott. So this way she can actually see it on fabric, and we can touch it and play around with it. And not only do we get it on fabric this time, but I also have a card. This is unusual that we get both. So she can look at this and take a look at it as she's choosing, and then say, well, I think I want to put these two together. Oh, what would this look like? And then start laying it all out.
So I have to say, the really nice thing about getting it on fabric is, let's face it, ladies, part of the thing that we absolutely love about this industry is the fact that it is very touchy-feely, very textile. So I have to tell you, sometimes, and it doesn't happen very often, but I can remember one fabric that I loved the color. When the fabric actually got here, and I ordered like the line of, it was a blender. When it actually came in, the red fabric out of the whole line felt like cardboard. It was horrible. So guess what? That baby went back, because I said, nobody, I mean, you could exfoliate yourself with that fabric. So it got sent back. So the thing that we love about fabric, and I know I'm not the only one, I know you are too, we like to touch it and we like to feel it. So I have to tell you, I love it when Angie brings me these fabric chunks, so that we really do get an idea of what it looks like and how it's going to fit together and play well. And the other thing that it does is, they do a really great job printing the cardstock, but the color just doesn't do it justice like it does. So like, all right, so here's this guy here. And they did a great job here, but look at how much more texture you see in this, because Angie, you said, what was it about this one that you liked so much?
So in the background of these, they've textured it. All of them have this as background, so it almost looks like it's a linen. So when this quilt's made, it's just going to look much deeper and richer than just
color-wise.
Color-wise.
Okay, perfect.
Fabric, yeah.
So anyway, like I said, I'm really thankful that Angie let me put her on the spot. Angie's been my fabric rep since pretty much we opened the store. So we've had a really great relationship for the last 16 years. I see her on a regular basis. And so truthfully, when she shows up at the store, I feel like I'm meeting up with one of my dear friends. And so thank you for letting me put you on the spot.
That's okay. Thanks for seeing me today and letting me show you fun fabric.
Okay, so here we go. Look what Sharon did. Oh, thank you, Sharon. All right, we have 3 bundles. So let me grab the bundles. And this is gonna, oh, well, here, let me just throw them I'm throwing them at Becky. How nice of me. Okay, so here we go. So Angie's here. Angie is going to pick, and this is the first little bundle. So we've got some pretty oranges, creams. Okay, this is for, okay, and I got to get on my glasses because I can't read. Nancy Beeman Houston. So Nancy, you won this little fun bundle of fabric. Whoop, whoop. We're probably going to need your address, Nancy, so just FYI. All right, there's one. All right, so here's the next one. We've got some stars. We've got, oh, look at that really pretty guy. And then we've popped in some pretty green here. So this is for Kathy Condor. I'm going to put that up there so y'all can see. All right, there's for Kathy. Kathy, if we don't have your address, honey, we need you to probably call the store and give it to us, because Becky is our shipper-outer gal, and she'll ship it out today if you call 575-523-2000. Okay, and then this is our last one. So look how pretty. This is a pretty fall bundle. Dark brown, really beautiful burgundy. We've got some really fun orange, and then that really kind of yummy gold color. And this goes to, Cheryl West. Cheryl, you won. Yay! Yay! All right, so Cheryl, I know we have your address. Again, if we don't have your address, and I don't know that we have Nancy's or Kathy Condor, please call the store, 575-523-2000. Becky is shipping stuff out this afternoon, so please let her know. And I want to give a shout out to Ellen. Ellen, those were fantastic tips.
Thank you.
So thank you for doing that. I hope you all learned some fun things today, and we really appreciate you joining us. So have a great rest of your day. And remember, Saturday morning, 8:30 is our comment sold. And if you can't be there, then come back next Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Have a great evening, guys. I love you and appreciate you joining us today.